Before I introduce our last speaker, I just wanted to give a shout out to our partners at Aramark, right? Some of us, we've mentioned the challenges our custodial staff have. They have worked tirelessly to do what they can to make our buildings safer, to do what they can. And we are really grateful to them. Unfortunately, right, 60 additional workers for 43 schools with approximately 18,000 students and 2,000 teachers returning to the buildings, and it's that number, of course, because of the Virtual Learning Academy. Those 60 additional Aramark custodians are not sufficient. They are not sufficient to overcome the decades of neglect our buildings have experienced and which my colleagues have talked about. All right, so I'm really proud to introduce Crystal Swepson, who's a teacher at Carl Lauro, but who is also a teacher in the Virtual Learning Academy.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to give honor to the Wampanoag and Narragansett Indigenous. This is their land that we presently occupy. I want to recognize those indigenous people. I also want to recognize that through the African slave trade, a lot of this country was built. And I also want to say to you that this issue about the condition of the building and the way I'm going to educate the students of Providence is a social justice issue. Yes. And not just I am also on the Social Justice Committee, and we are trying to fight for equity in our schools. That was a word that we heard. Any of you that took the PDs online for racial justice on that Wednesday, what is the word we heard all day? We heard equity. Okay? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for equity. That when you look at a black or a brown child, you see your child, no matter what race, and you recognize that that child needs a high quality, good education, and that it is not right to label our kids, to say they're low performing, to say their schools are low performing, and not realize that has an effect on them. It's not acceptable. It labels people, and it makes people think when you show up at a job interview, when you show up in a college, it makes them assume that you don't have what it takes to do the job, that you don't have what it takes to succeed. And that is not fair, and it is not right. I've been selected because of health issues to be in the Virtual Learning Academy. I have no idea what I'm doing. Last week, I thought I was going to be going to the school with the teachers from Carl Lauro to do orientation. I found out the day before that I was going to do it on Zoom. While I was doing it on Zoom, I had questions. I kept raising my hands. No one heard me. I typed things in the chat box. I think one or two people responded. So, you feel shut out. I don't know who my students are going to be. I got a schedule that said TBD all over the place. I have no idea what the Virtual Learning Academy is. When I tried to go online to get information about it, the website is very vague. So it's hard to know, and that's not usual for teachers. Usually in August, we're in our rooms, putting up our bulletin boards, getting our rooms ready, getting ready to educate our students. Going above and beyond. No one has to write that in an email to most of us. Okay? We know what our kids need. And having that day-to-day connection with kids, of course, we want to go in the building and be with those children. My fear is not that if I went in the building and I taught those stable groups. My fear is that one day I'll go in, take my mask off, forget about the precautions, and sit down and say, let's teach. Because I know that's how I am. Because I care about the kids that are in front of me. And it upsets me to hear the narrative sometimes that you hear from people in the media, in the news, that we sit with these kids, with our students, 5 days a week, 6 hours a day, and we don't care about them. What kind of person would not care about those kids and care about their lives? Of course we do. Who wants to sit behind a computer screen and communicate communicate with people. No one wants that. What we do want is we want safe schools.
That's right.
We want to be able to educate kids efficiently and that will help them to be prepared for the 21st century. That's what we want. So I want to charge you today, teachers, community members, when you see things are not right, do not be afraid. Speak out. If you see they say this and they're not doing this, call it out. Do not be afraid. And do not underestimate the power of one person to say something. Because I do it all the time. Okay? And I have our union delegate, Fran Arsenio, that we often have talks about that, right? We speak out. Don't be afraid to speak out. Give your opinion. If you see something's not right, speak out about it. Don't get discouraged. Even though the fight might be long and it might not be easy, it's worth it. Because it's worth it for the kids that we educate. Thank you.